How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. That's me, Kristian Harloff. This is our Monday through Friday UAP news updates because there ain't a lot of people that are doing it in the mainstream media. So, with people on the internets, we figure we'll get involved too, because more people need to be talking about this stuff. More people need to be asking questions. And like everybody else says, we don't need you to be believing in people from outer space or all that type of stuff. That's not what it's about. The question is, there's a lot that is happening behind the scenes that not even the American people, but the world has kind of been kept in the dark about. And there's been reports and more reports coming out about things. And the good news is that there are people in positions of power that are challenging that now, unlike in the past. And that's what today's story is all about. The Department of Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm was questioned heavily by both Tim Burchett, Representative Luna, today, or was it yesterday? Today or yesterday, whenever this video comes out. And they did not hold back. They did not hold back about asking about UAPs. Burchett got frustrated. It started with this particular question. Check this out.
What is the responsibility of the Federal Protective Services within the Nuclear Security Administration?
Are you talking about transporting fuels?
No, ma'am. I want you to speak. Well, I was going to follow up with the numerous reports by the Federal Protective Services officers describing suspicious occurrences of UAPs over nuclear facilities. Oh.
Let me just say, the Defense Department has said there is no evidence of UFOs, et cetera, or aliens in the United States. However, at those sites, there may be drones that may be nefarious. And so we are definitely looking at that and making sure that our national security sites are protected. We have a whole program related to countering drones that may be coming from
Well,
areas.
this isn't about drones, and this is prior to drones even. What protocols does the Department of Energy have for reporting and responding to any UAP sightings near nuclear infrastructure? And people joke about this, but I get a lot of questions about this concerning this and about this hearing today from my constituents, so I would appreciate you answering that if there are any protocols.
Well, certainly there are protocols whenever we see anything unusual around our nuclear sites or our national security sites writ large.
So what's kind of concerning there is not just of the kind of brush off of, well, the DOD said that it didn't happen, so why are you asking me that question? It was just kind of like the nonchalant manner in which she answered it. And it was as if, like, well, both this guy and Luna are probably going to ask you questions, play coy about it. Or just kind of like, if you're asked about that at all, you know what to say. The DOD made their report. There's no evidence found. Because you can see Burchett almost get frustrated with it when she says, well, the DOD said there's none of this, there's none of that, there's no aliens in this. He's like, I didn't ask you about aliens. I asked you about what was flying around in the sky. And she said, drones, it's possible drones. He's like, they're not drones. So he was getting frustrated with it, you can tell. And he even responded as much in this clip. Check this out.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, just leaving oversight. Several questions for Secretary Granholm, and she was clueless. I asked her about some recent UAP sightings and UFO situations and that had been documented, and she kind of smirked and said something a little smart, I thought. And then I asked her about our use of energy over at our military bases using Russian energy, and we just got finished having a meeting with an admiral who said they do it, and she just laughed and said, oh, I don't know anything about that. And then I asked her about the small nuclear reactors, which are a huge deal. And then she told me, maybe the biggest whopper, she said, you know, the government's not standing in the way of rolling those out. And of course, who regulates them but the federal government? She's very arrogant. She condescending to the point, I think, but she was clueless, which is even worse. She wouldn't even come before the committee until we threatened a subpoena. Just the arrogance of these folks is just unbelievable.
So yeah, here he is saying this is, once again, the frustration with Burchett keeps growing as he's talking about it. But the fact that he's asking these questions, and the fact that you got a guy like Burchett out there asking the Department of Energy, who's been many times over talked about, discussed, that they know more than they're leading on to, that they have information about these programs and that they could potentially be involved in the reverse engineering side of it. And that directly came out from Luna, who asked this.
Secretary Granholm, earlier when Representative Burchett asked you about some UAP stuff, you said that the DOD essentially had denied any existence of that, and you referred to them as drones, correct?
It's my understanding that the Department of Defense has looked at this and issued a report about it.
I have a lot of questions, so just quick and concise if possible. There have been persistent claims and reports, including those from credible whistleblowers to this committee, suggesting that the U.S. government, potentially including the Department of Energy, has been involved in reverse engineering technologies recovered from UAP. For example, the Pentagon's proposed Kona Blue program aimed at reverse engineering such technologies, although it was ultimately not established. Can you clarify whether the Department of Energy has been involved in any such efforts, or, either historically or currently, to analyze reverse engineering materials from related to UAPs?
I have no knowledge of that.
Okay, there are several reports indicated frequent drone incursions over DOE nuclear facilities, including an incident on April 1st, 2021 at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, also known as LLNL. Can you detail the DOE's current security measures to prevent unauthorized drone activities or UAPs, and what steps are being taken to enhance these measures of frequencies of incidences?
Yeah, we have a whole counter drone effort to make sure that all of our national security sites and our labs are protected from incursions from drones, I'll just say, that are not authorized. So there's a whole series of protocols, probably not ripe for discussion in this public setting.
Correct. So I reviewed some unclassified materials from around the 40s and 50s, and so they weren't just being reported as drones back then, and I encourage you to look over those materials because I think that you guys should be upgrading that program to cover down on UAPs. There have been documented sightings of metallic spheres over DOE facilities, if you want to call them drones in this instance, such as one report on April 30th, 2019 over LLNL. What investigations have been conducted in regards to these sightings, and what conclusions do you guys have about the nature and origins of these objects?
I'm happy to follow up with you on that.
Okay, we'll be submitting also, too, for public record some questions after this, if you could please answer those. Considering the DOE's involvement in nuclear and sensitive research facilities, how does the DOE coordinate with agencies like the Department of Defense and AARO to investigate UAP sightings?
We obviously are teamed with the Department of Defense because of our national security and nuclear mission.
Are you able to cite any specific investigations or shared data analysis efforts?
I don't have information on that.
Okay. As of right now, again, we'll be submitting some questions for you after this, but I hope that you guys can answer those in a timely fashion. And again, for those that might be tuning into this, I would encourage you to look at some of those unclassified materials, and we'll be happy to provide your office with that. I'll just follow up by one other question, I guess, to close it out. Does the DOE currently work with JSOC in order to handle security measures?
We work with all of the security entities around the federal government. We're part of an overall all-of-government effort on both cyber as well as national security.
Do you guys work with JSOC? Yes or no?
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. I yield the rest of my time, Chairman.
So I think they know, as you're going into this question, you're not going to get any answers, as Rishi said, no, not of my knowledge, when asked about the reverse engineering stuff. But I think that it is clear to say here that if we're getting this serious, that these representatives in hearings like this are going directly after these people inside of the Department of Energy, this thing's heating up more and more and more. And the fact that, you know, there is no more of this taboo thing as far as they go. Like, they're not saying, they're not worried about their careers. I think it's actually the opposite now. I think that their careers are starting to benefit more from covering this, and so they know that, and they're pushing harder. And I think the internet has a lot to do with that too. I think that one of the reasons this thing was taboo back in the day is that, and not to say that the taboo is completely gone, but it is more accepted, and there's more of an army behind them as well. There's certainly a bunch of people who are the naysayers of it and think that they are loony for bringing it up and think that they are chasing, you know, a dog chasing a car, whatever it might be. But this is a different situation than there was, say, 20, 30, 40 years ago, where you bring this up and someone just says, did you hear what Burchett said? He's asking this woman about UFOs and the Department of Energy, and Luna's asking about reverse engineering. And then it just goes to a little group of people, and then they're out. But when you get clips like this and they start getting shared in videos, and there's more and more people who think that questions should be asked and that there is more stuff. And then when you get somebody like Carl Nell, who was just speaking about this the other day, with definitive conviction that he was saying that, no, this is a thing. This program exists. The NHI has been here, is here. This is a fact. This is someone in the position that Carl Nell was in. And the idea that, you know, even like I said many times over, and I continue to say this, and I will continue to say this, because as many different channels and many different people have like a clear take that they have, and you guys have already associated me with, like, you know, the average everyday person that you just would talk about these things, ask him questions in the way that you would, and that's great, and that's how I prefer to be looked at, because I don't consider myself like an insider or anything like that. But I just feel that it's one of these things where you want to be asking the questions and knowing, I don't know, just knowing that I'm going to be the guy that's going to ask why the mainstream media isn't covering this thing, right? And knowing, and it's never of, well, this is factual. They have facts here to know that this is true. We don't have all those facts. But there is something to the fact that these people, these high-ranking officials, whether it be Luna, Burchett, AOC, Moskowitz, and someone that had the stature of Carl Nell speaking about what he's doing, and you guys are hearing it from a guy like me, you know, or Twitter or whatever it might be, that's a problem. Because even if it's one of these things where they're just like, today, Tim Burchett was asking the Department of Energy about UFOs. John, how do you feel about that? There's no conversation with anybody on that. It's just weird. It's just weird. And this is a topic that I'm glad that we can discuss here today, because the fact that I think that it should be encouraging to those where I think a lot of people thought that the wind kind of came out of the sails with that DOD, you know, Arrow report that the Department of Energy representative mentioned. And I think they were counting on that. And I think that that's why she brought it up in the way that she did. And I think it's also encouraging in how Tim Burchett brushed it off to the side and said, I ain't asking you about that. I'm asking you about these things that are flying around out there, and there's these reports. What say you? Luna, I need concise yes or no answers. Here's the thing. I've heard this thing about, we've heard about reverse engineering. The Department of Energy has been involved. What say you? And they're pressing. That's good. Now, will anything come out of it? I don't know. But it's good that they're pressing. It ain't going away. Not anytime soon. I hope this all leads to another public hearing. I don't know. So I ask you guys, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is encouraging? Do you think that the fact that they are pressing someone from the Department of Energy, do you think that this is much ado about nothing? Or do you think that it's this kind of consistency and persistence that is going to ultimately lead to something? Put your comments in there and let us know. As I've told you guys many times over, the algorithm's been very different for YouTube lately, so it's important for you guys to comment. I'm trying to comment back. Click that like button. And if you want to support the channel, we don't have a Patreon yet for Down to Earth, but we do have sponsors. And when you get those sponsors and you get something for yourself in the meantime, you help out the channel. So I'll tell you about two of them right now. Thanks for watching. The other day, my wife walked in. She said, whoa, where do those jeans come from? Those are amazing. Those are nice. I said, that's right. It's the perfect jean, baby. Love the perfect jean. Perfect jean makes great looking, perfect fitting jeans, and they're stretchy and they're nice, and they hug your assets in the perfect place. They really do. It's got special denim fabric. It's very soft. it's really great. I've been wearing these and it's super comfortable and they look good. And that's what I needed. And I got it. Trust us when we say these really are the perfect jeans. Because once you try them, you're never going to go back. For a limited time only, my listeners are going to get 15% off their first order plus free shipping. We got to go to theperfectjean.nyc or Google The Perfect Jean and use the code DTE for 15% off. I love it. I put them on and I was curious at first because they were like, stretchy jeans, do those work? And they do. They feel super comfortable. They look good. And I like wearing them. Super stretchy and great. I felt good, man. Felt good wearing them and I can move around in them and I like that. They fit great. Make sure you go to theperfectjean.nyc and use that code DTE. 15% off. Get it. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I'm excited. I know summer's right around the corner. I'm wearing hoodies right now and I won't be because it's starting to get hot. And I am excited because I just learned about Chubbies. Chubbies is a lifestyle apparel brand that makes every moment feel like a vacation. So they say that fashion is an expression of one's character. So why not let the world know that you're down for a good time? I need swim trunks. That's what I need. I need swim trunks. I need comfortable shorts. And that's what Chubbies has. They have all of it. And I got big thighs, guys. I got big thighs. So I needed shorts that I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to look good in these. I want to walk into my house. I want to put them on. And I did this. And I said, it's all about what my wife thinks. And my wife went, whoa, new shorts. Nice. And I was like, I'm in. And I like the old kind of Mike Tyson shorts, you know, for me. And that's what I had. They had them. They had those kind of like black shorts. I liked it. I like the black colors. I like blue colors. They have every type of color. And that's what I like about Chubbies. They got a different variety of high quality men's apparel. So it's great. The stretchy shorts, all of it. Comfortable shorts, the best. So for a limited time, Chubbies is going to give our listeners 20% off your order with our exclusive code. Use that code DTE at chubbyshorts.com. Again, that's DTE at chubbyshorts.com. You will enjoy these. You really will. And I think that it's high quality and it's summer. It's right around the corner. I know everybody's looking for shorts, bathing suits, all that. This is where you go. All right. Thanks for watching. Go get some shorts.